Oh, I guess we're on.
Yeah, we are on.
Welcome to another exciting adventure with Blaster Pro and Shop Talk tonight.
Yeah.
I am not Matt Wells, and this, of course, as always, is Chuck Blaster Pro.
Hello, everybody. Hayden, not with your teeth. There you go. Much better. Somebody was trying to remove a beer cap with his teeth.
That's a pro move.
It's not my fault that you made it all slippery.
That's kind of gross.
I'm still putting my mouth on
The reason why they're all slippery is because somebody dropped a 12-pack and broke a beer in the 12-pack.
Yeah, we got it on camera.
Yeah, we got it on camera. So basically, I washed all the beers.
Dishwasher?
No,
over in.
And I got stabbed picking up the glass.
Yeah, he got a little boo-boo and everything. Had to
Oh,
get
it was a deep stab, too.
So anyway, yes, no Matthew tonight. We got Rodney. Rodney showed up making bullets.
Yeah.
Are they actually silver or just...
We're hunting werewolves.
Hunting werewolves, yes.
Hunting werewolves.
So anyway, that was what we were doing. You're still working on electroplating, right?
Yep. That's the whole bullet fiasco.
Okay, so he and I both are working on electroplating projects at the same time. So that means we get to share notes. And right now we're looking for, a retired coffee maker?
Yes, a retired coffee maker.
So I was going to ask you, is that requiring a pump to pump through the coffee maker and back in, or is there some sort of a siphon
Well,
setup?
I think we're looking for one that has a pump in there that pumps from a reservoir.
They don't pump, they percolate up.
I'll figure it out.
The ones that pump are the Keurigs, and all that is that pumps the water up to where it gets hot.
That's all we need.
But you have to push the button every time you want to make a cup.
I know, but we can make a button that pushes itself.
It only does like what, 2 ounces, 4 ounces?
I'll figure it out, damn it.
No, I think it's 2, 4, and 6 is what you can set the higher end ones for. So anyway,
little cup, medium-sized cup, and big cup.
Yeah. So, so tonight, no Matt. Matt will be actually gone for 2 weeks. So
it's a Mattcation.
It's a Mattcation.
Where is he?
I'm not sure where he's at.
Behind me.
Yeah, that's not Matt.
I can't pan up.
And actually, I was thinking, I was wondering if he's going to be back for the contest this month.
I think he is.
No, yes, he'll be back. That'll be the first week he's back as the contest night, which will be on the 26th. Actually, you know what? Yeah, it'll be on the 26th, last Tuesday of the month, as always.
Yeah, but we don't like talking to you, Matt.
Yes, Matt, we can see your messages. We just don't care.
Hey, Matt, the mannequin showed up. Did you you picked a girl? And actually, I know what happened when you went from the tall one to the less tall one. That was probably a girl mannequin. So
I think he did it on purpose.
I ordered another mannequin already. We can keep this one or send it back. She's standing right here. I already had it unpackaged before I realized it had boobs.
There's a joke there, but I'm not going there.
I'm surprised you're not.
I mean, good.
Why does it seem like I'm dark tonight? Oh, I know. Pull that light right there.
Oh, like not every light in the room is on.
There we go. Looks like I was in a shadow.
You are in a shadow.
So anyway, yes, we have a girl, Matt. If you would like, I still have all the packaging. We can box it up and send it back, or keep it and do something with it. What else? Oh, and like I said, I ordered another one. I didn't realize, though, I haven't got shipping information. The one I ordered is coming from England. I didn't realize it was coming from England until after I ordered it.
You know what else comes from England?
English muffins.
I was going to go with Trooper beer.
Trooper beer. Does it come from England, or do they fish it out of toilet bowls here?
Well, I would like to think it comes from England. That way, when I have the pinky up drinking the tall can, we're good to go.
It's awful beer. It's awful.
Talking about Trooper?
Trooper beer, yeah.
The official beer of Iron Maiden.
First beer. No, I don't remember.
That was your first beer.
That was.
I remember that.
Because I drove all around the tri-state trying to find it.
You went the furthest away. You picked the jungle gyms the furthest away from us when we actually have a jungle gyms within 5 miles of here.
Okay, so I'm not the smartest man.
So anyway, Etsy is doing fairly strong lately. I'm getting lots of orders. So go ahead and throw that up. And the Blaster Pro page is still up. If you want to see the complete inventory minus 2 items, there's 2 items that are not in that that are not on the inventory, but my complete inventory is on BlasterProShop.com. We'll set a link up in there for it. Besides that, what's going on in your life? Anything new?
My daughter has learned that maybe I know what I'm talking about sometimes.
Really?
Learn that you know what you're talking about sometimes.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Yes.
I know what it's about. It has to do with bullet holes, right?
Yes. Yes.
Why is everything, you go in phases. Sometimes it's guns.
Everything's about fire.
Sometimes it's plasma cannons.
Well,
Yeah.
with
Last
the
time it was grenade launchers.
He went through a phase with a motorcycle, and I haven't heard anything since
Yeah, me
then.
too.
He's still making payments on it, right?
oh yeah,
It's not.
it's been too wet for me to drive it up here
all right.
and cold.
All right. And it's hard to carry your bullet making
Materials.
Materials.
Yes. I have one saddlebag, which not.
Why do you
everything
have
fits in.
one saddlebag?
Actually, to put in all the crap that I need for fixing the bike if I break it in between
that's
here and
one
there.
saddlebag. See, you're supposed to. A true Harley rider has 2 saddlebags and a toolbox or a tool pouch.
Yeah, we're not going that route.
My tool pouch on my Harley was a gas mask bag that was strapped to the back of the sissy bar and had 2 sets of completely clean and ready to go spark plugs, spark plug tool, an extra quart of oil, which an old 70s style, like not panheads, but shovel heads. I was told right away, if it's not leaking oil, that means there's no oil in it.
So was this a Monday bike or a Friday bike?
It had to be. I'm thinking it was a Wednesday bike.
A Wednesday bike?
A Wednesday bike, early Wednesday. I'm happy to start the Wednesday. It could have been a Monday bike. It ran phenomenally well, being a 72. It never broke down. That's actually kind of gray area on an old Harley. The plugs would foul out, especially if you got stuck in traffic. So I would find myself sitting on the side of the road putting these spark plugs in it.
So did this run on fuel or fuel oil?
It ran on fuel, and it also ran on hopes. It ran on a lot of hope.
Oh, that's why you have no hope now. I'm sorry, buddy.
But no, I tell you, the only time I ever had it towed or trailered home, I was going through some S curves and I jammed it down in second gear as I came out of the last of the S curves and dumped the throttle and spun the rear sprocket off.
How is that possible?
Not going anywhere now.
Well, the old school Harleys.
Did you shear it or?
Yeah, sheared the rivets. They're held on by rivets. So I took the whole rig apart.
That's tape technology.
There used to be this old machine shop. This machine shop. It was the coolest place. It was called. It was in Levelland. I believe it's called S&S Systems. The place was full of old, broken down bikers. The guy that ran it was an old, broken down biker. The guys that worked there were old, broken down bikers. So you bring them like old Harley stuff from the 70s. They're like, that's like their youth.
I know what this is.
So I would take stuff when it broke. You go to Harley Davidson, and all those guys are working on new stuff, and they're like, yeah, and they're not like old school type. So I would take it to. I wouldn't go to the Harley shop. I go to S&S Systems. There was also one Harley shop I would take it to.
Was that shop the guy who did the Vietnam exchange rates thing?
Yeah.
That's him. That's him.
What?
He was a Vietnam vet. So he had this racket going on with his family while he was, because when we go to war to like prop up a country, kind of like we did,
South Vietnam.
kind of like we did. You're supposed one of your deal. Yeah, you're supposed to keep up with the.
Why would I pay attention to stuff?
We had a trailer to haul it.
And the trailer to haul it when it inevitably breaks down. New stuff is
plastic. So anyway, this is what he did. When we were in Vietnam, just like when we were in Korea and when we were in even Iraq, the U.S. dollar would falsely prop up the currency of the nation we're trying to save or preserve or whatever, right? But see, it didn't translate on the ground, on the streets there, okay? So he would buy up all the Vietnamese currency he could, mail it home where they would honor here in the U.S. the inflated exchange.
Oh, I had a Bosnian friend who had this scam going on.
So he did this all through his 2 years in Vietnam, and turned his army salary into a very healthy salary.
And he opened up a chopper shop.
So that may have been how he paid for that machine shop. So anyway, you would take this. I took my motorcycle. Actually, I just took the wheel and the hub into them, and they started laughing and said, "Yeah, this is the thing." So he pulls out an arc welder, no centering, no nothing. He took two screwdrivers, and stuck them through the pop rivet holes, and in 2 minutes, arc welded the whole thing together and gave it back to me. Worked perfect. From what I know,
never to come apart again.
I sold the bike to one of my best friends, and as far as I know, he still has it. No, but those guys are great because they would. Back then, for me, breaking like aluminum. Or aluminum case or something like it was like the end of the world. But you take it to these guys and they make you feel good. And these are mean, old, scarred up, broken guys. And they make you feel, don't worry about it, dude. We'll fix it up. I broke my starter. The rear ear on my starter broke off, and it's aluminum case. And that was on the transmission side in the back. And they're like, that's no big deal. They didn't even use the old piece. They just built a whole new ear. They built a whole new ear and drilled it and tapped it, and never shimmed it, or they never even tested it. They just put it in one bolt tight, and then they marked it, took it all apart, drilled it, tapped it, and put the starter back on, and it fired up. The first time, not a single grind, no flywheel damage. No, it was awesome. And they charged me like $50. I don't know. It's crazy. There's no places like that anymore.
Moral of the story: find the old guys.
Find the old guys. I rode by that shop maybe 5 years ago. Was the last time I drove by that shop, and it had a gravel parking lot in the front, and the weeds were grown up. You could barely see the building, so it had been closed for a while. And I kind of felt, I was like, it's like there's my late teens and early 20s hanging out in that shop with them old guys. I learned a lot from them. I did. I kind of miss those days, and those type of people you don't see anymore. It's just it's like that generation. It's just, I don't know. It's kind of cool and kind of sad to see they're going.
Chairman Armor asked a question.
Yes. What was the question?
Is that a 3D printed blasted barrel or an aluminum one?
Yes. Well, let's go. That's a perfect segue into tonight's topic. Last week we talked about my master, my blaster. So my blaster's masters for mold making. And those were the real items, like real Sterling parts, real MG34. All the real stuff, scopes and all the stuff that I have. And then my next tier, like if I can't find, or if something is too expensive to purchase, or if it's just not right to modify a piece of history, Sterlings are still fairly common, so I don't feel too awful bad about chopping one up. So anyway, this piece right here is the aluminum for the aluminum barrel for a DH-17. Now, when I was first starting making DH-17s, I was not able to make this part. I can make this part now. I got the machine to do it. But back then I didn't. So I wanted to find an accurate replica that wouldn't break the bank. And I purchased a Master Replicas DH-17 to just basically get this part right here. I don't use the grip that comes on that DH-17 because it's the same as the E11, and I have a perfectly good real Sterling grip. So this is the main part that I use off of that blaster. Matter of fact, these two have been separated for 10 years. And the reason why, actually, this part here is the history of this part. I don't think there were any aluminum ones in A New Hope. What I think they were was they were taking inspiration from the BSA, made a 9mm submachine gun for British weapons trials. It was going to be before they adopted the Sterling submachine gun. They went all the way from World War II with the Sterling, and it was in their inventory, but it wasn't officially adopted until the 50s. And they ran trials to try to find a better gun during that time period. And BSA made several different prototypes. There are several prototypes, but they had this strange looking barrel assembly on them. And the reason why this was has this text or the cuts in it like this is because it was side magazine. It was designed similar to the Sterling, where it could accept Sten magazines. But the way the thing charged, there was no charging lever. You charged it with this. You unlocked it.
Oh yeah.
If you're holding the gun, you would load a mag, and then you would turn, pull forward, pull back, lock, and that would charge the gun. I know it's retarded.
I was just thinking about heat dissipation.
Well, this was the barrel. This was a barrel sleeve, just like how the Sterling has a barrel sleeve and everything.
Okay.
It had a barrel inside of it, but this was a charging mechanism that I don't know why they did that. Maybe I really don't know what the advantage of charging a submachine gun like a shotgun would be.
Well, aren't they all wankers?
Well, I guess. You know why the British always liked sticking the magazines out the side?
So you can light prone really low.
Yeah. So a magazine would if you're lying prone, the magazine kind of keeps your head up too high.
Oh, like the Bren?
Yeah, the Bren.
Yeah, the Bren feeds from above. No, but that was also like they did not like, in the early days, they did not like lower magazines, underbody magazines, because you got that magazine, that means your gun sits up here, and that means you got to get your head up higher. They like this, and you get the gun down lower, and you can keep your head lower. That was the whole idea. But this is the A&H version. I'm not sure, but I think the ESB version and later versions used a stamped version of the BSA. Yeah, World War I. Yeah, it's kind of funny because speaking of World War I, the British, what are we looking at?
C-96.
C-96. The British got a hold of a lot of German MP-28s.
MP-18s.
Was it MP-18s?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well,
1918.
the MP-18 ended up, the MP-18 and later the MP-28
Mm-hmm.
was like a direct predecessor from the 18, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Became the blueprint gun for the Sten gun. but they probably should have tried.
It wasn't nearly as nicely manufactured.
No, it wasn't nearly as nice. And by then, the German MP38s and MP40s were far superior to even the Sten. The Sten was a stopgap gun. But anyway, so basically, if I can't get a master of a good original, I go for masters. I go for a replica if I can find one, like the DH-17 part. Today, I would have made that instead of buying a master replica's gun. For all my Mausers or all the solo DL-44s and Mirsun Power 5s, they're using a Denix Mauser. And it was actually a good idea to go ahead and use the Denix anyway, because this is the standard for everyone for a Denix. So if you do a Denix build, your master will fit probably more than 80 or 90% of the leather molded holsters that are out there. Like, I've had people show up in a workshop getting their holster and then coming and picking up their gun and sliding it in like a Mirsun Power 5, and everything it's all been fitted, and it fits perfect with mine, like you would almost fit it with that gun. To be honest, to make a metal kit, it's almost better. Well, like if I was to do a metal DL-44s, no, I would buy Denix. I would just buy a bunch of Denix and modify the Denix and then put metal parts on them. The trick would be trying to get the scopes, figuring out how to get the scopes, whether I might try to metal cast scopes or like the A&H, I would actually just tool a scope for that on the metal lathe. Like, just spend a week making nothing but scopes. If I did ever do that, and I have thought about doing a metal kit, it would be a limited run. I might figure out how many components I could make in a week. So if I figured out I could make 15 scopes in a week on the metal lathe in my spare time, then the run would be 15 because the scope is probably the most intense except for the flash suppressor. And making 15 flash suppressors, I might actually send that out to a tool and die company, or send that out to a machine shop to make 15 of those.
That and casting is kind of a pain.
Well, casting is kind of a pain, and I am working on. I've been doing a lot of research on casting stuff. But anyway, so for all my DL-44s and Mirsuns, it's the Denix. This is an older version. I was playing with Larry was here Wednesday. And his version's a little bit different. I kind of like this version a little bit better. And his is stamped down here, made in Spain. They took that logo off. Here's a fun one. When Master Replicas made the Hoth version of the Solo DL-44, they used a Mauser, a Denix base, and they left the Denix logo on the gun.
It's fine.
It's not supposed to have that little triangle thing right there. But what that did was that muddied the water a little bit, because for the longest time I had that on here until I kind of wised up. Because it even tricked me at one time. Because Master Replicas is supposed to be like as best as you can get, and really they're not. They're not. But anyway, yeah. So whenever I do like the DT12, this is a it's kind of about $100 airsoft pistol. It's metal. It is metal and plastic, but it's the right size. It's got the takedown lever where it's supposed to be. The magazine catch is correct. I look at all the details and try to find the most accurate thing I can. And this one was really accurate. I had to do some detail, add some parts to it, like that little button right there. I permanently attached the scope mount to it, and I permanently attached the ring for casting, or the discs for casting purposes. But if you notice, this has got a little barrel plug in it. That's actually part of the pouring process. This will get screwed to a block of a board, and a mold box will be built around it. And it literally gets cast like this, and the silicone gets poured down into the box from above. And then when I demold it, it comes out and it gets poured down through that spot. Yeah, that's how I do that. And like I said, I left this seat like that. I machined that piece there and that to fit on this gun. But if I can't find a replica, this is the British 2-inch mortar fin. Matt made. Oh, scopes would be a
separate kit.
Well, we already know the metal replica kits are going in the neighborhood of $700. Yep. If you guys remember the review, we should have that linked. The review of my blaster.
Oh yeah, was it a $1,500?
It was a $700 opposed to a $120 blaster of mine. And it didn't look. It kind of looked not so good at first. Like he was kind of like, and he kept saying
he asked his wife to see which one
the real one, and then he does a filming follow up at the end, and I guess he had a discussion with his wife because he came back a lot more favorable on mine than he did in the original, the initial. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, but it was just like, well, this feels great and this feels real, but you can't take it to cons. And it also pulls your belt off, your gun holster off. Yeah, this one's full of silicone, so this one weighs double what it should. But excuse me. But anyway, he when he did his wrap up, when he comes back and does the wrap up, he was a lot more favorable to mine. And he said, 3 feet away, you can't tell the difference. And I personally believe you can't tell the difference even closer than 3 feet, whether it's metal or, I think they look good. He had comments, but some of the comments were, if I sat down and talked to him, I would say, the reason why it's like this, or I did the weathering like this, is to sell that this is metal. It makes the mind really kind of gravitate to that conclusion that it's metal. And you kind of got to overdo it. It's kind of like stage performers, how their makeup is like 10 times thicker than it normally would if they went out on the street. It's because they're up on stage and,
But yours is better than the 10-foot rule.
Mine is much better than the 10-foot rule. He said mine was a 3-foot rule. But anyway, so back in the day, Matt, I started on the project. I think I cut the blades and Matt finished sanding them and then assembled it. So it was the first project Matt and I worked on together. Helped me make my original 2-inch mortar fins for the Hoth DL21, it's DL21. Later on, over the years of trying to actually find a real set of 2-inch mortar fins, that stuff's kind of hard to find unless you're actually overseas. Since it's a British piece, you could probably find it at a swap meet or a military memorabilia type store, or even that stuff's all over the place. Well, it's getting harder and harder to find, but I couldn't find one anywhere in the U.S. and I couldn't find one that I could purchase in England. So I reached out to someone I knew that could get me one, and they got me a cast of an original. So that's the next thing. If I can't buy a replica if I can't buy a real, then I'll buy a replica. If I can't find a replica that's good or accurate or works, then I'll find and buy a casting of an original piece, and that's what that is here.
Like that awful counter casting I gave you.
Yeah. But like I have my Hengsingler counter box. I have my M38 and my M19 scopes. Those are the two main things for like Sterlings that are additional pieces that I really, that tie it all together. And I wanted to have accurate pieces. I wanted to have my own serial numbers. I wanted to, you know what I'm saying?
Do you ever cast any of those counter boxes?
Yes, actually, the counter box it was out and has been out for a while because the mold is shot and it's time for you remember the Mauser mold that just literally gave up its elasticity?
Yes.
And it just stuck straight to the gun.
And it had to be chipped out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That did the exact same thing. That is taking a mold past the point you should be using it. But sometimes certain molds I can get away with it because it's just a little bit of sandpaper to fix the defects, and it just keeps encouraging you to keep using that mold. But no, I don't have a mold for it right now, and it's actually been well over a year, and I really need to get that done. I had a stockpile of them it's now all been exhausted. So
I guess I got to get started on the E11 project again.
I ran across your E11 project the other night. I saw the electronics and the light up scope and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I've forgotten all about that stuff. Well, I found it when I was getting the disco light.
Oddly, we have a disco light,
which Hayden appreciated. You didn't upload anything from that, did you?
No, I haven't done anything with it yet.
Hayden spent his Amazon birthday money on all kinds of stuff, and one of the things he bought was he bought a fog machine, and we played with it until the late Sunday night.
There's the fog juice.
Yeah, the fog juice is over there. And then you should link your video, the caffeine gum video.
Actually, a buddy of mine owns Bluegrass Vapes, and he had come in one day from some of these kids that he'd hired, and they had hooked up a fog machine and they'd filled it with vape juice, and they were trying to make hitters out of the fog machine, to which he responded, "What the hell are you doing?"
we actually here's a hitter tube right here for the fog machine. We were fogging we were getting some effects. We had this inside the MG34 barrel and the other end in the fogger, and we were smoking the barrel.
It was a bit too much.
So when are we making a movie?
Oh shoot, I don't know.
Oh well, yeah.
When we come up with an idea that we can use the sets that we have.
What sets do we?
Sets?
Exactly.
Setting up the con sets.
I guess
That's not a bad idea. We ought to do a bit. We've never thought about doing like a con commercial.
We got a green screen.
We do have a green screen.
We've had a green screen.
We have had and we have the technology.
we have the technology.
No, we've never made a video like a promotional video for the pit crew stuff at the expo, have we?
No, I've always wanted to put Matt in the giant Ewok costume and have him steal the speeder bike.
We're not going there. We're not going any of those places.
Who out there would love to see Matt in a giant Ewok costume?
Dude, we do have footage of Matt doing the truffle shuffle.
It's beautiful.
Put a laser in a barrel. Yeah.
Oddly, that's where I was going with this. The 11 project.
Hey, there's Alex. I haven't seen Alex in a long time.
He said he was here a while ago.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. What, is he outside?
Yeah, sure.
But anyway, yeah. I didn't even realize we skipped over. Well, we're going to get in a recap because we started on doing the contest, and somehow I got sidetracked.
You're talking about choppers.
Oh, I know. It wasn't the choppers. It was the question about this. Yeah. So we'll do that and wrap up.
Is this the one Matt broke?
That is not the one Matt broke.
No, that's a different one.
That is a different one. The Matt broke.
He got that one.
Matt has it. Matter of fact,
This is so cool. It does look like it's poorly stamped aluminum. It's beautiful.
Christ, do you hear this praise?
It's poorly.
No, that's praise for this.
Yeah,
That's what it's
supposed to look like stamped sheet metal.
Yeah.
When I was putting it all together and doing all the sanding and all the work to it, in my head, I kept saying to myself, this was made by the General Motors headlight division.
I thought it was.
There you go. Put that in front of the camera.
Oh my God. I did not notice you had little roll pins in here, and they're perfect. Perfect little roll pins.
Check this out. This is what we were doing. This is part of what we were doing. It's not quite lasers, but thank you, sir.
Maybe at some point that'll show up on the channel for some reason.
We should do one for each one of the guns.
We did do a little bit of we used that.
Yeah, we used the Lazy Susan. We actually got it spinning in the darkness with a little bit of light, backlit with the disco light.
With the disco light behind and the smoke machine rolling,
Mhm.
we could have the welcome back mat.
Well, you know,
Well, you need Matt.
we were actually talking about the smoke machine, and we thought it would be perfect if you were just messing with electronics one night, and we just set the smoke machine off like
Like I would notice.
you'd set the blue smoke off.
Like I'd notice, oh crap, did it again.
Yeah. Well, you were making smoke earlier when you got here. I was like, is that supposed to be smoking like that? You said, yeah, it's fine.
Well, yeah. That's the impurities burning out of the metal.
That's what he says.
It's,
But if it's been heated already like a dozen times,
Your logic is
is
Fouled.
valid logic. It shouldn't be smoking every time you heat it up.
I have not gotten any of us injured yet, except Matt. And he bent a table.
That was, yeah. That's never been fixed, by the way. It has been fixed, but it's never been fixed right. So, any questions on tonight's topic, which is,
Master Blasters.
yeah, Master Blasters.
Blaster Masters.
We need to keep the master and lose the blaster.
No.
That's a line from Thunderdome.
Master Blaster?
Master Blaster. Keep the master, lose the blaster. But anyway, yeah. I don't buy too many replica stuff anymore. I've kind of moved away. Like I said, I never would have bought this right here. I would have just made this on the.
Well, yeah. Once you get to the
On the
point
lathe.
where you can make your own, you can make them more accurate.
Now, like something like this, one of the reasons why I would not try to do a 3D print of this is the tooling lines. 3D printing creates tooling lines, right?
Yes.
But that's 3D printed tooling lines. I want metal cutting tooling lines, which is what's on this here. And
The ones that you rub your fingernail up on.
Yeah,
it goes whippy, whippy,
yeah,
whoop,
but you can
whoop,
see
whoop.
it. You can see it, and you can see the tooling mark. You can't see tooling marks in this because this is not machined. I've actually thought about taking this Mauser, mocking it up in a machine, and just lightly tooling the recessed areas and putting tooling marks in it. Because if you look at real ones, you will see tooling marks, and they're like very, aggressive tooling marks left in a lot of these Mausers.
Well, yeah, it was machined, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was all machined.
So
Yeah.
machined is tooling marks.
Yeah, and this right here, a lot of people, I don't even know if anybody knows or cares, but this right here is a lug that's pressed into the gun. I don't know if you can see it. There it is right there. This lug, the reason for this lug is so when you fired it, this lug is the only thing keeping the bolt assembly from coming out and hitting you in the face. Strangely enough, that was an issue in early submachine gun pistols. Another Star Wars blaster that's come up and has been very popular is the Mandalorians Pistol. His also has a very large lug, and the only reason that very large lug is in there is to keep the the bolt assembly from pull the trigger, fire the round. They're all blowback operated. So you pull the trigger, boom, everything cycled, come back cycled. But without that lug, there was a chance that it would go boom and then come out and hit you in the face.
Oddly, I have a story about that.
And the same deal on the Mandalorian's pistol. His has a gigantic lug that does the same thing, keeps it from coming out the back. Safety feature.
Those were automatic.
Semi-automatic, and
Fully automatic.
the later ones were fully automatic, and those are not this same style. Like if you go to buy the airsoft Mausers, which a lot of guys buy the airsoft Mausers to make Star Wars blasters out of them. The problem is they're this is 1896. The semi-auto ones, I believe, were built in the 30s and on into World War II, and they have a selector switch on them. They got a magazine, lower magazine feed, which these have a magazine well, and it wasn't that hard to modify this to accept a magazine. But
Stripper clips.
yeah, these were stripper clips. Yeah, you pull it back
Fire
and
it open.
Yeah.
And you would
Yeah, this was a stripper clip gun with a magazine well. The semi-auto, the ones that go full auto, they had magazines. They had magazines. They had magazines that were just this height that were only 8 round, and they had them up to I don't know how many rounds, but yeah.
It was like 10, 9.
Yeah.
8mm cartridges.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I am going to be doing a project. I've actually started on it several times. It'll tie into next week's conversation.
I don't think so. Some of them.
I don't know if it was removable to accept magazines because the shape wasn't really. I think the reason why the originals were removable is so you could get the follower and the spring out for cleaning or replacement or servicing. I think that's the only reason the mag plate came off on the early Mausers. I believe the design, it had to be more of a modification than what the traditional, what we know as the traditional MG or the traditional Mauser, the broom handle, or the C96. This one has that plate right there. You can see it there, Rodney.
Yes, but they're the ones who want to see.
I know. Well, it's hard to see if I can turn it in the light.
Do you want me to bring it up there?
Yeah. You want to do? It has the.
Holy crap! This is heavy.
I told you it was heavy. You can also show where I tooled the end.
End?
Yeah, I tapped the screwed and tapped the end, drilled and tapped the end. Thing? So that's how it bolts to the mold box. See that right there? Yeah, that's the plate. Now, if I was going to do metal, Mausers, I would also bring these into the shop. I would set these up in the lathe, and I would tool. The bottom of the gun doesn't have the rest of the plate. I would tool the rest of the plate into here. And I also would tool and insert a ejector into the bolt assembly. It would just be for looks, but it would be much more accurate. I put a lot of thought into doing metal versions.
It's amazing what he can do with a Dremel tool.
No, I wouldn't do it with a Dremel tool. It would all be done on the milling machine. But yeah, I'm pretty sure these versions, the early versions, the only reason the cap came off on the bottom was to service the spring and the bullet follower, or what do you call it? That's what you call it, right?
The follower, yeah.
Yeah, the follower. It's basically an internal. It's all the components of a real magazine, but internally in the gun.
It's the holy bit in front of the spring.
And these were not pinned. They were in, but with a. What do you call it? They slid in and locked in with a tempered piece of metal. Was a button back here, and it slid and locked in. You'd have to take a shell
like
casing.
A spring bucket button.
Yeah, it was just a piece of metal that had a little indentation on it, and it was tempered to be. You temper it for spring. Basically you stick it in an oven for 45 minutes at 400 degrees or something like that, and that'll temper. That's also how you get that purplish orange amberish coloring on your. The reason why I know this also is because I was looking how to replicate those parts just to put them on this gun, and actually to put parts with the same details on the Mandalorian gun, because certain parts are heat treated and they look a different way.
So this is I'm building an oven.
Press in the slide.
Press in and slide.
Press in and slide, yeah.
Like a penguin.
Yeah, but to get it out, you needed like a bullet or a shell casing to push it and release it and slide it out. But yeah, that's how they worked. But the later ones, I'm almost thinking they expanded this to accept the same size round. Actually, it was 9mm. I think the originals were 8mm. The later ones were 9mm. So they expanded this area. They were different chambering, and they had a different fire control, a group for fire select. But the safety was the same, hammer was the same, and the bolt assembly was very similar also. But obviously, probably changing spring rates and all that other fun stuff that gunsmiths would do to make gun function in that new capacity.
Yes, ask me about buffer tubes.
I wish I've never even handled a real one. One time I was actually going to buy one of the Chinese 45 ACP Chinese versions, but they went from a $300 range all the way up to like $600 or $800, and I just didn't. But I did get to handle a. Did I ever show you this? A Luger.
Well, my buddy Taylor's dad
had
one of these.
It was a year ago,
and we were never allowed to touch it.
Really?
Yeah.
So even if I could find a real one, I wouldn't use it, just because.
You've already filled an AR-7 with silicone
and an MG34 and multiple Sterling submachine guns and this. Yeah, the AR-7 is a plus the only one I actually would look for, and they're very expensive today also, is a Model Gun Corporation Mauser. The only reason is because one of the Hero Mausers in ESB and the Hero Mauser in Return of the Jedi, I believe, were Model Gun Corporation Mausers and not real Mausers. And that's a Japanese-made blank firing. They fire a proprietary blank cartridge, so you can't even load real blanks like 8mm, 9mm blanks. They will only accept Model Gun Corporation blanks. That would be the only one, because that's actually screen accurate.
So it's probably something goofy like 7.2mm.
And I'm not sure whether it was the Han Solo Hoth or if it was the Bespin that was the Model Gun Corporation. And I'm kind of leaning towards it was the Bespin that was the Model Gun Corporation. I think I read somewhere that that's what that one was.
You want to go shopping at one of those Bosnian war markets?
Yeah, dude, I think your passport process is different than mine. I just pay the money and send mine in with new pictures, and I get me a new one. Since you were a juvenile, not juvenile, he was a.
That was like last week.
Since you were a kid, you were a minor. I think you have to go through the full process now that you're an adult. But so what do we got? What did Tin Man say?
That's what I said.
Gun shop. 800 as is. Offered to buy it from her, but she wanted to see if she could get more. Minor. It was good. Original with German stamp. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's actually something I'm going to start doing.
German stamping?
No, I'm not going to do German stamping. No, but for this gun to be a little more accurate within the Star Wars universe and within the world of costume replicas, this, as being a Denix, does not have proof marks. We talked a little bit about the proof marks last week on the MG34. It had all the German government proof marks on it. This has no proof marks. I came up with this idea years and years ago, and I never have done it. I always wanted to stamp a logo or put a logo in.
Oh, like the Kyber guns? Where they have random logos all over it?
But I didn't want to do it because it throws off. It's not cool. But if I had a Blaster Pro proof mark, yeah.
Oh,
the
boy.
gun's supposed to have it anyway, because they all have government stampings. They've been tested and meet the standards, and they get the proof marks. Some countries, it gets proof marked in one country and gets imported and gets proof marked again. So
we'd have to add that to the mold, wouldn't we?
Yeah, I would proof mark this. I'd proof mark that. Funny enough, the Liberty pistols were never proof marked. They took them out of the box. Everyone was single fired, and that was the proof marking it got. It works if it made it into the cardboard box.
So did they tire test them, or did somebody just hold them out?
I don't know how they did it, but I wouldn't want to be the guy that was testing them because those did have to fail.
That's what the intern did.
No, actually, I would do I would have a stamp made, a small jewelers have their little jeweler stamp, and there's plenty of companies out there that make a hardened stamp that you can hit and then stamp your logo or your maker's mark in. And I was going to do it like that, and obviously I would go. And I would find real Mausers online, take accurate pictures, and I would put the proof marks where they belong. Hey,
Straka.
Hey, Straka, your helmet's on the way, by the way. I haven't been ignoring you. I've just been, I put my phone on airplane mode by accident and didn't know it for like 3 days. I was like, nobody's texting me. Everybody's leaving me alone. I was like, this is awesome.
That works?
But you know how I discovered it?
Oh, my God.
You know how I discovered it is I actually wanted to watch a YouTube video, and I couldn't watch a video on my phone. I was like, what is wrong?
Work call.
Make sure you take your mic off.
All right. Rodney's got a work phone call. And he's demiking. You can, hey, Rodney, just reach in and turn it off.
No, it's a fake phone call.
Oh.
Hilton loves me.
Oh, I say, so where's Alex? Where's Alex at now?
He's in Minnesota.
Minnesota? And he said he was dealing with a blizzard, right? Wisconsin.
Ooh, Wisconsin. That's either the Arctic tundra when I'm there, or it's a giant swamp full of mosquitoes. Those are the only 2 times I'm in Wisconsin.
Don't they still have permafrost?
That's North Dakota. Even further remote.
Hey, they have gold there.
Yeah. I was watching a guy that has a whole YouTube channel on
Panning for gold.
Panning from gold and all kinds of stuff, and he also has several different types of claims for different types of stuff. That's a fun channel. It's kind of neat.
You want to go panning for gold?
I don't want to go panning for gold.
What about mining for gold?
He actually has a mine shaft on one of his claims.
Why not steal some gold?
North Dakota. I've been to the Dakotas. Been out to the Badlands, Custer's Last Stand, Deadwood.
I've been all those places.
Yeah, it's flat. Stay on the path. There's rattlesnakes.
Yes, there are.
Yeah, that was at Custer's Last Stand. That's literally a sign that says, stay on the path. There's rattlesnakes.
I was also, I think, where I first saw my first elk at like 3.5 feet, and that was terrifying.
You know, he's probably going to look like a wampa to stay warm.
It's like 70 degrees and I'm freezing.
North Dakota, South Dakota, it's splitting hairs. It's kind of, So I guess the Badlands are in South Dakota also, right?
Can't tell the difference between the two.
Well, you can definitely tell the difference when you get into the Badlands.
That's where my car broke down.
That looks like nothing else on,
it's like a big dirty sandbox.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I've been through the Dakotas. That last time I went through, we went on into we did Yellowstone National Park.
Been there.
Did all that kind of fun stuff. You know what, Alex? You should go next year if you're still way out that way. You should go and try to be the first one across. This is like a big thing out there. Be the first ones to take one of them old trails and cross the Continental Divide. Be the first one to do it in the new year.
Isn't that how the Donner Party happened?
No, but a lot of people don't make it. They're like, they actually got.
He's trying to get you to become the next Donner Party.
Dude,
take tasty people.
He is always up for a challenge.
Barbecue sauce and your least liked friends.
Barbecue sauce makes everything good.
But anyway, any questions about these the props or like I said, these are all not this one, but these are all my masters. These they all go in a special place in the back of the room or the back of the workshop, and only come out for show and tell and come out to being cast.
Oh, is that where the the box with the sign that says "Rodney, do not touch"?
There's several signs. Another one over here is the drill bit, and here's another one right here. This is the "Do not touch" right here.
Do not touch D21.
This says "Do not touch DT21 drill template."
Drill template.
Well, okay.
That is not template. That is temp. That is temperature.
All right. So the DT21 has got these very small pieces. You got to draw a really small hole to put these little wires in, right? This squares that all up and makes it easy to just, it's squared to the drill, and then you find center and it works great. And people are always using it for stupid stuff, and I did that. But
those holes look like mat holes.
those probably are mat holes. You can tell by the teeth marks the way they look. So anyway, next week we'll be discussing stuff that I could not find or couldn't find a good replica of. It's the last level of how I source and get or create the blaster kits. This is the middle line where I find, if I can find a replica that, you know, a cast of a replica. And this technically is recasting, but I have the permission of the person that I got this from to do that. So that's okay. And then, you know, of course, the Denix and then the Airsoft there and the Master Replicas, because they're all, I mean, this is spot on to what was in the movie, except for the ones that were in the movie were actually made out of wood.
Did they have tooling marks on the wood ones?
Yeah, because it was done on a lathe.
Oh, I was about to say it was going to be better than the wood ones.
It is better than the wood ones because it's made out of aluminum and it's more up close.
3 foot rule.
The 3 foot rule. This doesn't have a 3 foot rule. This is a in hand accurate good piece. And the casting, you can actually see when this was delivered to me. I bought it new, and being a Master Replicas and everything, it actually had been dropped before it ever got put in my box, before it was boxed up and shipped. So
it's an added feature.
It's an added feature that you can find in the cast of the part, which is kind of cool, I guess.
Someone asked about Fat Trooper.
Fat Trooper is going to be coming back. Fat Trooper is, we put it on hold because I'd like to say it's because he wasn't being here consistently, and Matt's more comfortable touching me in those special ways when requiring armor fitting.
Well, he likes to fit everyone's armor.
Than Rodney is. So
Matt likes cod pieces.
Yeah, Matt is our all-time. Matt has dibs on adjusting all cod pieces.
Yes,
and
with a heat gun, which is so much fun.
So yes, it has not been touched since the last time we did. We were actually going to bring it back. In January? Yeah, we stopped doing it in November, December. So it has not progressed any further than it was when we had it. And we're going to bring it back, and then eventually we'll chop the whole thing up and put it into one big long video for people who want to expand armor kits to fit them properly.
So we're going to have a tutorial on painting Twi'leks.
Painting what?
Twi'leks, yeah.
No, because we're not allowed to photograph when we were doing that.
I'm just saying, it could be a big boost for the channel.
It would be a huge boost, but we're not going to. I'm sorry to say we're not doing that. But next week, what we will be doing is going into all the stuff I've made. It's got a little bit of 3D printing in there, a little bit of lathe work, woodwork, all that kind of stuff for recreating items, A, that I can't find, B, no one knows what they were to begin with, so it's very hard to source and find something if you don't know what it was. So that's what we'll be doing next week. And also, since we kind of skipped over it earlier, vacuum form. Make some vacuum form molds for mass production. We
got something.
We're working on something right now. we got a few things. We got electricity upgrades. We got to figure out a few other things, but yeah, we got some stuff going. There's components already been bought, components that are already been tested. There is a prototype that's going to be disassembled to salvage some components. So we have some things going on as far as that's going. Yeah, and actually we are going to try to document the build of the actual machine. Trace that on. Mando armor. Is Alex referring to himself?
It's like a royal we.
Okay. Kenobi armor. So we're talking about Clone Wars Kenobi. I wonder how many different versions there is of that.
Well,
There's no live action armor.
no.
There's only animated armor.
I've only seen the animated armor. And then there are about 50 flavors.
Cool. Awesome, Alex. That will be paired with helmets and blasters. Cool. Also, this is Matt.
Remember, Alex is Matt.
I know.
Not Alex.
I know. I'm sorry. Anyway, also, we are going to have a contest this once, trivia contest. I started on it earlier, and then I got sidetracked by this. So we are going to be giving away this guy. Now, we already given away one, and we have a few of these laying around, and we don't have any miscasts of anything else to build anything from right now. So we're doing another Mando blaster, holdout blaster giveaway. Now there is going to be a something special with this one now.
Matt's going to drop it?
No. It's going to be all the way till the contest. It's going to be in this state, unfinished. So if you win, you can have the gun blaster unfinished, or with the Mandalorian paint job, the green and all that, or say you have a Mando kit and your kit is, you would like a blue chipped up weathered version. Or so.
What if you wanted like a samurai Baby Yoda on the side?
We're not doing anything stupid like that. What we're doing is, in the style of the painted Mando, weathered and everything, a color of your choice, or the Mando style, or blank. You get a custom color, Mando color, or blank color, and just paint it yourself. So that's how I'm going to do this one. So the special catch on this one is you get to pick what kind of paint job it gets, or get to pick whether it doesn't have a paint job. Old Man Kenobi just shows the arms, shoulders, and legs. Okay. I do plan to do some. We were going to do Kenobi armor back in the day because Barry pulls off a really good.
I thought you were going to say Chris Clark, and I was going to use.
No, he was doing Luke. He never did do Ben. He was doing Luke. No, we were going to do Kenobi armor because Barry, one of the guys in our group, he does a really good Ben Kenobi, but it's kind of like it's kind of like the Revenge of the Sith on type Kenobi. Yeah. Pre-A&H Kenobi. Unlike Doug Sr. does a good A&H Kenobi.
Old guy Kenobi.
Old guy Kenobi.
Ben Kenobi.
Ben. You mean old Ben?
Ooh, yeah, I got to fix his lightsaber again.
Dude, you guys spent how long? A month?
Okay, every time I fix it, they break it again in new and improved ways.
Ugh.
Right, Jeff?
I think the thing needs to be totally gutted and completely done. Dad has a great, yeah. Yes, actually, yeah, he does, Matt. He does. Yeah, actually, that's one of the favorite things of that he does do that I like because he does it. It works so well for him.
Breaking his lightsaber?
Well, he breaks his lightsaber, but you know what? Old Ben wasn't really action Ben. Does that blade go green or does it go blue?
Blue.
Is that
Well, it's got blue and white lights in it.
Oh, it's blue. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't blame me.
Oh, okay. So I'm off the hook till he breaks that one.
Wow. All I know is it's a cluster watching you guys put that damn thing back together. Every time I was like, I'm getting frustrated. And I'm not even
That's because
involved.
it's built with like 50 different parts from different places that
Let
were
me ask
cobbled
you
together.
this. Is there enough wall thickness left to chuck it in the lathe and run a boring bar down through it to take a couple swipes at removing more
Yeah,
material?
because we never took any of the material off of the inside of that.
Is it
It's all the crap that we built to shove in there.
Well, I know. I'm just wondering if it had room to create more clearance.
Sure.
Yeah, all right. That doesn't sound very good.
No, I'm not sure exactly what the thickness is, but yeah, there should be.
Yeah. So anyway, we're recapping, weren't we? You never loaded up any media, did you? Total slacker. All right.
He's doing it now. It's fine.
See, I was like, that thing is way too tight. I've seen so many kits that go together so much easier than that. I was like, is there a possibility to like loosen that up, run a boring bar down there and
No, this
material?
is what needs to be done. First off, we have to take accurate measurements of the inside of that thing.
How about a whole new kit, which is what
Second,
seems to be
the main problem is the way it's all rigged together.
it is a funky. It's like I noticed there were wire leads coming out of bottoms and having to go up above, and that's
because you've got the
speakers,
the reflector
packs,
the reflector on the
charging
top,
ports,
and you have to put the frickin' lights in there, and the wires have to come down through the center. Now, keep in mind this is all screwed together and not meant to be taken apart.
Right.
So you got to put the wires through there. So if you have to unscrew the top, you end up tangling the wires and ripping them out. Then there is a plastic piece on the inside that we have there to try to keep all the pieces that if they touch each other, will fry everything apart. Batteries in there, speakers in the bottom. Super fun.
Yeah. But anyway, that was, you guys have redone that one no less than a half dozen times that I know of.
Well, part of the problem was,
and this started 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, part of the problem too is it's a metal lightsaber, right? Aluminium. And the boards that we were getting, if you touched the bottom of the board to the aluminum, it shorted the whole thing out and blew parts of the board up. So then we were not getting sound or not getting lights, trying to figure out what was going on. So it's been super fun.
Yeah. So recap. What night are we going to have our
LED?
What night are we going to have our trivia contest? It'll be on the 26th. Good job, Hayden. Be on the 26th, the last Tuesday of the month. What are we giving away?
Hayden?
We're not giving Hayden away. We can't afford the shipping.
Matt?
Still, Matt would cost more to ship.
No. We'll just tell him they have free tacos or something.
Although a bus pass would be cheaper.
Yeah.
Anyway, this guy right here. We're giving away a Mandalorian holdout. And it will have the option of coming like this with the Mandalorian paint job on it or a custom paint job of your choice. So I think that'll be pretty cool.
I like these. These are so cool. The little roll pins.
I cannot believe you didn't realize the detail that I
did not pay attention to what was going on as usual.
Okay. The game we'll actually be playing will be Family Feud. We haven't played Family Feud in a long time. So we'll be playing Family Feud. It will be 10 questions, random Star Wars knowledge type questions. You don't have to be an expert because sometimes the dumbest answer is the best answer. That will, I think that's going to finish off tonight. Anything you want to add? Besides the fact you're making bullets? He is such a slacker. He was working for 2 hours and didn't even make a magazine full.
I kind of ran out of material.
He did run out of material. I was going to offer, if that smelter that you handed me, if you wanted to fire that thing up and pour the contents of
that's all solder. That's a bit of an issue. And besides, you said, I want one of these. And you were so happy when I brought it to you.
I haven't used it yet. And I don't know what I'm going to do with a half a pint of solder.
Well, we just heat it up and we pour it into.
Oh, that's where you dip your wires into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
you got to do the same thing I was doing here with the fluxing it. Yeah, you got to scrape it and then get all the crap off the top.
I don't like you anymore. Oh, by the way, if I'm going to do an electronics run, I'm not building lightsabers, so don't ask anybody. When you go to do your run on, have you done the field testing? Is the field testing done on your fan kit, or have you just totally lost interest in that?
No, I have interest in it. It's just, other than Dan saying make it last longer, nobody said anything.
So actually, you know what I think? I think you should go out with version 1, helmet fan kit, version 1, put it together, get it done, buy all the components, and assembly line the whole deal, get 20 or 30 kits ready to go, and we'll throw on the Etsy page and we'll throw them up through here. We'll maybe even give one away as a contest prize one night.
Okay.
I think that's something that you need to do because you've done so much work, and then I don't want to see you do 90% of the work but not finish the whole project.
Well, I also have to cast the helmet and everything too.
You really dropped the ball on that one. I actually noticed the helmet's still here.
It is still here.
I didn't even
because it's ready to be cast. It's just, and all the casting stuff's here.
So you're looking for a day when you can be here with me all day long.
Yes. Where I don't have to deal with the kids.
Don't have to deal with kids.
Yeah, and don't have to deal with exes and all that fun stuff.
All right.
So, or work, which is
remember, kids, a very large determining factor on the what you can do in life. Also has a lot to do with who you mess around with and who you produce with that other person. So make sure you do that with a good person who will let you run off and do play stuff whenever you want. Is that sexist?
No.
That's not sexist. That's loving, right?
I mean, I can take Morgan with me, but not Julia. Julia flips buttons.
No, we have to pull the keys out of all the all the dangerous things down here.
Yeah, Julia will flip buttons. Morgan might help.
Okay, here's a question. Do you remember this? In the 80s, short-lived television series, Smart Monkey. That's all I remember. I remember one scene. It may only have been a pilot that aired and never anything else. The guy is talking to, I think, an orangutan, and it's like a science lab or something. And he stops by the automated coffee. Put your money in and then push the buttons to get a coffee. And the guy looks at the orangutan. It says, "I didn't know you liked coffee." The orangutan's like, "I don't really like coffee. I just like pushing buttons."
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I have been trying to figure out this television show for 30 years. I saw that one episode, and that one scene has stuck in my head this entire time. What was that, Project X with Matthew Broderick?
Yes.
It's similar to that. As a matter of fact, I think the show was created. Maybe the show was called Project X.
Well, that was Nuclear Monkeys, right?
That was Nuclear Monkeys, yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Were you thinking about Super Troopers, Johnny Chimpo?
No. It wasn't Johnny Chimpo. This was an 80s television show. It's just like that one where they kind of like brought, it was like a television show where they kind of like brought the Tron type character into the real physical world.
Carman?
No, I do know this one because actually I can.
Manimal.
No, we will look it up. I know how to find this one. The car like glows with like it almost looks like
It's
a car.
Carman.
Is it Carman? It's not
Yeah.
Carman.
I swear to God, it's Carman.
It's not Carman. It's something else. Anyway, anybody want to add to that? Because like,
Hold on, I want to be right.
he's not going to be right. Another one that I do remember, and I do remember this one very well, was Tales of the Golden Monkey.
I have those.
I know you do. Turbo Teen.
That might be it. Because Carman is not coming up with Carmen, it's coming up with Carmen Sandiego.
No, I found this once before, and I was able to actually pull up a full episode of the television. Remember Highwaymen?
Yes.
Was it Jocko? The wasn't it the Energizer? Didn't he do Energizer commercials in the?
Yes. Energizer.
Back when air popped popcorn was the thing.
Sign off.
We're past signing off. Yes. If there's nothing out there, the rest of anyone else has to add. And do you have anything to add?
I'm so happy Matt's not
He
here.
is so happy. Do you know the main character in Highwaymen? What was his deal? Wasn't he the Mohawk guy from Mad Max?
I'll have to look that
I
up.
think it was the same guy. I think it's the same guy. Which was the coolest villain ever. All right, everybody. We'll see you next week when we'll finish this Prop Masters discussion up with the
Series?
Yeah, this has been a monthly series. We
Yeah.
decided to do a whole
Not
series
discussion. It's a series.
It's a series.
It makes it sound highfalutin. Series.
It's a series of discussions.
Welcome to our TED Talk.
Yes, guys. Toy guys, they will be. We're no more deep dives. We're leaving. We're going. We're shutting down.
Does that mean they think we're scripted?
No, we're not scripted at all. Hopefully, well, Matt will not be back next week. Hopefully, Rodney will be here next week to fill in. If not, it will be possibly me and Echo, or
Echo and I. That's proper English.
Echo and I, or it might be our new mannequin. Although Hayden started feeling sorry for me one night and almost sat in. Thank goodness somebody showed up. Actually, after the Echo night, he has felt sorry for me. All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Good night, everybody.